What's going on, Dolphins fans? It is your boy Dillon, and I got a little bit of breaking news for you that's not exactly directly NFL related, but certainly indirectly NFL related. And it starts with the first big domino falls in college sports. So to elaborate on that, multiple sources are reporting, although this is coming from CBS Sports, this article here, Ivy League cancels college football season for fall 2020. Will reevaluate playing sports in January 2021. That's huge. This is huge. And this is absolutely the correct decision. But it's not surprising considering there's some of the, at least theoretically, some of the smartest people of the bunch. They're the Ivy League people, right? So theoretically, whatever, whether there's truth to that, I don't know, whatever. But, and I guess it depends on what kind of intelligence you're talking about, but theoretically it makes some sense in that degree that it would start with the Ivy Leagues because they are evaluating this properly and saying it's not going to be safe. But let's get into these details. The Ivy League has canceled all fall sports and will reevaluate whether to allow athletes to compete after January 1st, 2021, conference sources told CBS Sports' Matt Norlander. So that means first of the year in 2021, they'll reevaluate to see if it's safe then, which it might not be. An official announcement from the league is expected Wednesday evening. The significant move comes as more questions and concerns arise about the feasibility of playing the 2020 college football season amid the coronavirus pandemic. Time is running out for the FBS season to start on time, which is leading many to wonder whether it will ultimately be moved a few months to the spring of 2021. As to whether the Ivy League would consider playing football this spring, a notion considered undesirable by the Power 5 conferences as the sport weighs contingency plans, no decision has been made at this time. Football hasn't been decided yet if it would be moved to the spring, but logistically I don't know how that would work, an Ivy League source told CBS Sports. You just honestly, when it comes to seasonal sports, the best thing to do in cases like this, from my perspective, is just cancel the season and start next season. Because then you talk about shortened season and missing prep time and blah, 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 blah. You miss off-season programs. No, it's way too much that has reverberating. Just hit the reset button, shut down, hit the reset button, start next season. And you can't move all the sports to the spring. The logistics don't work. The soccer field is the lacrosse field. The scheduling would be a nightmare. There are also financial considerations to take into account for the Ivy League. The conference loses more money on football than any other sport. Basketball, the league's real moneymaker, is its only profitable athletic venture. The basketball season is unlikely to start on time considering the league's January 1st, 2021 mandate, which should eliminate most, if not all, of its non-conference games. Ivy League programs bring in anywhere between $400,000 to $500,000 annually in guarantees from non-conference games, money that will likely be gone for the 2020-21 season. If things don't get better, we're not even going to play basketball, the source said. Decision makers are holding out hope we can play basketball. The Ivy League becomes the first Division I conference to make such a sweeping change. There have been cancellations in college football's lower ranks, including Division II program Morehouse College and at least 3 Division III schools, but nothing quite like this. The Ivy League was also the first conference to cancel its tournament back on March 12th. After initial blowback for supposedly overreacting, the league saw other conferences quickly follow suit once the gravity of the COVID-19 outbreak became clear. There is resistance to moving the FBS college football season to the spring, with doing so being called, among other things, a last resort by Penn State athletic director Sandy Barber. Ask 10 different athletic directors, university presidents, or conference commissioners about the most possibility, and you'll likely get a variety of answers. The NCAA's approved preseason calendar is set to begin in a matter of weeks, and camp is scheduled to start back up. However, multiple programs, including Houston, Kansas State, and Kansas, have already been forced to suspend voluntary workout programs because of COVID-19 spikes among athletes. Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott said of the upcoming season, unless we see a change in the trajectory of the spread of the virus and its impact pretty quickly, I think the situation's a lot more perilous than it was a few weeks ago. The spike in COVID-19 cases since June has cast more doubt than the upcoming college football season will be played as normal. What that season looks like is still to be determined, though we could have a much clearer idea in the coming weeks. Spring football appears to be very much in play. My guess is that they also will not, that things will still be rather precarious since the trajectory is very rapidly heading in the wrong direction. But who knows, we'll see. There's still plenty of time. And I think, honestly, though, even that aside, the logistics, there's all kinds of issues that arise from that. And it likely won't happen that they'll play all those sports simultaneously, especially if they lose a ton of money on football, which is unfortunate from the fans' perspective because that's probably one of the most popular sports. But anyway, whatever. Just wanted to give you guys those updates because that is huge, and it does have pretty huge ramifications for the NFL, right? And in a couple ways. So one, it has ramifications in a direct way, or in a sort of direct way, in that it could be a prelude to what ends up happening in the NFL, right? Because if over the next couple weeks we start to see more, colleges shutting down their seasons, well, then we're going to be getting, let's say over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we start seeing more D1 schools and so on and so forth shutting down. And then training camp's about to start for the NFL. I mean, it could be, like I said, it could be a build up to eventually the NFL doing the same. Hopefully they will follow suit before it's too late and before they ensure that there are massive outbreaks and subsequent deaths. Hopefully they do not allow that to happen. But that does remain to be seen. Additionally, though, it also then makes stuff for next year, questionable, right? Or like up in the air, like we don't know. What do I mean by that? So if there's going to be no 2020-2021 season for the Ivy League schools, and then especially if more like D1 schools and stuff follow suit, that means that the prospects coming out of those schools are going to be missing those years. So obviously there's, evaluation time, playing time, tape that would be, not there. There's all kinds of things. I mean, the schools are going to be shut down, so their academic programs that they're going through are pushed back. All kinds of, things are affected by this. And so, but speaking, as far as football, that will have an effect on like the upcoming draft and evaluation and so on and so forth of potential players. Who knows even who's going to be able to come out, right? Because that's the thing. I mean, maybe, seniors are not going to be seniors anymore, right? They're still going to be juniors or what have you, right? Juniors are going to be sophomores and sophomores are going to still be freshmen, right? Because they're going to be pushed back in their academic years and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of ramifications that are going to be coming from this, especially as it progresses. And if it continues along the track that it's going now, which is just disastrous, horrible, and completely in the wrong direction that we want to be going in, then, ultimately at some point we'll end up seeing the entire NFL shut down and dominoes will continue to fall, right? So at the beginning it started, that article, that first article, or at the beginning of the article, it started with, the first major domino falls in college sports. And you know what they say about dominoes? Once the first one goes, the rest of them go with it. And so, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoy and appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.